right, we're live.
We are live. This is the pilot episode of the Thorun Skundo podcast. Just two bros hanging out, talking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Giving some controversial opinions. Hopefully not always so controversial.
Yeah, so we're just going to be discussing anything we want to, from new album releases to politics to world events and current events. Yeah. Maybe even some mindless celebrity gossip.
Mindless gossip, internet memes, pretty much anything that is of interest to us at the time. So,
yeah, exactly. And this week we wanted to talk about the new Vultures album from Kanye West.
Yes, I've been wanting to talk to Thorun about this for a while.
So what are your... Because, okay, so we initially had a little bit of a discussion about it. I was talking shit just because I thought it was funny. And I was like, this album is terrible. It sucks.
Being a hater. Being a bit of a hater, but that's okay.
I was being a big old hater because I thought it was funny, but...
And I was like, there's no way you've even listened to this fucking album. Like, literally, I was convinced. I'm like, I think I texted Nero. I'm like, yo, Thorun doesn't even listen to the fucking album. He's saying it sucks. I can't, like, I was like, you cannot call yourself a music producer and say this album sucks, because it's just not true. Like, it's like, usually I'm like the type of person that's like, oh, it's open to each personal opinion or your preference, musical preference. But for me, and I know you are someone who appreciates hip-hop, and I know you have a good ear for music, and I know you know good beats and good mixes. I'm like, this is factually incorrect to say that this album isn't good.
No, the album, you know, I was talking shit initially because I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I just listened to one song, and like I wasn't in the right headspace when I listened to it, and I'm like, I don't want to hear from you.
It's one of those albums
Kanye.
You need to kind of like sit down and really like pour a cup of tea, like light a candle, like set the vibe. It's hard to listen to like if you're just like in your fucking iPod headphones, like on the bus. Like, I don't know. I feel like you gotta get the full experience.
Yeah, like, okay, I did listen to the full album front to back afterwards.
Yeah.
I listened to it like probably like 2-3 times total. Mm-hmm. And I think, yeah, musically it's solid. I think, say what you want about Kanye, he's a very divisive character for sure.
100%.
But he's a good musician.
Yeah. He's
definitely a good musician. I think the music I've been listening to lately has been more kind of instrumental band. Not instrumental, but music that's played by a band.
Yeah, real instruments, real singers, real fucking...
Yeah, not a lot of sampling. So I think that was part of my knee-jerk reaction initially too, is I'm like... I mean, obviously Kanye is known as like the sampling guy, but I'm like, it's just more Kanye sampling shit.
There's also a lot of repetitive sampling in that. Like in the album, it's a lot of like, kind of like replayed over, like the song we were just listening to, Paid, in the car. It's like, Friday night, let's all get paid. Friday night, let's all... It's kind of got this like repetitiveness to it, which at first is kind of like, you know, I'm not... I'll say even for me, like, the highlights of the album aren't Kanye's verses. If anything, like, he probably has some of the least impressive verses on the album. Like, if you compare it to a lot of the like features he has on there, like all the features fucking, they were going in, like giving it 110%.
Yeah, fuck, that's their moment to shine. It's a Kanye feature.
Yeah, like Freddie Gibbs, for example. We were talking about how he's taken a few L's over the last few years, getting jumped and all this shit that's fucking happened. So I feel like when he got the chance to go on that album, he's like, oh hell no, like I'm fucking... A lot of people compared it...
he has to redeem himself.
You know, like the 5 Foreign verse on Off the Grid?
Oh yeah, that was super crazy.
Oh, is this working now?
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay, we got 2 mics now.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Okay, it's working. Sorry, we just got hooked. We were having technical difficulties, but we have both mics set up now.
Okay.
Can you turn up the gain a bit on mine?
Yours is the second one.
Second one. Okay. Hello. Okay.
Hopefully it stays working.
Yeah. Like bar-wise, like lyrics-wise, Like, this is not Kanye's strongest album by any means.
Yeah.
Like,
although he's not, in my opinion, he's not exactly the most prolific lyricist.
no, he's not. Like, it's clever, catchy bars. But yeah, like, I feel like his verses aren't the highlight of the album. Or even if you were to percentage-wise of, like, audio time, you're probably only hearing Kanye rapping for, like, maybe 15% of the album. Like, a big part of the album is Ty Dolla $ign. It is all the fucking features, the sampling.
And you're you like Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh, I love Ty Dolla $ign. He's great. People have always said, like, everyone I talk to says Ty Dolla $ign is super underrated. You know, that's like the genuine consensus. I know you.
That's like saying Kanye's underrated, don't you think?
Well, before this album, Ty Dolla $ign was known as a feature artist. Like, he didn't, like, a lot of his biggest songs weren't Ty Dolla $ign songs. There were songs he was featured on.
That's such a good point.
So now, like, I feel like this is kind of like his chance to be given his flowers or to shine, because now he has a #1 album. I think it's his first #1 album.
Yeah, I think you got to like talk at the
the
condenser more.
We could just do the one mic still.
I don't mind holding it.
You don't mind holding it?
I don't mind holding it.
Okay. I thought it sounded good with the fucking.
I just think in editing and post, it's just gonna sound a lot better like this.
Okay.
You can just fuck with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're working out the kinks, people. We're working out the kinks.
Yeah.
It's the first episode. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Ty fan personally.
Expand on that.
Like, okay, he's good.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I don't know. I'm just not into the. Okay.
You're not a huge
I'm not a big
R&B
R&B guy.
Yeah, you're not.
I think that's what it is. And especially like.
I think that mic is fucking.
I think you just need to turn the gain up and like get it closer to your face.
On this one, right?
Yeah.
#1. Hello. Okay.
Yeah, just tighten that knob.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, you got to really talk into it.
I'm talking into it.
Yeah, because you can hear yourself, right?
Fist from the mic.
Yeah, you
As
can.
Joe Rogan always says, you keep it a fist from.
Yeah, you're like at least 2 fists away, so you're really pushing it.
Okay. Yeah, fucking.
You can hear it, right? You can hear yourself.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Like
now.
you can hear the difference between this and then like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Okay.
So we've got the cans on, buddy.
I can hear it now.
Okay, so I think like I'm not the biggest R&B fan, so maybe that's why. So that's why like when I saw Ty Dolla and Kanye, I wasn't like psyched. I'm like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Like I totally wanted this. Like Kid Cudi, Kanye, sign me up. I loved all of their collaborations. Like that Kids See Ghosts album, amazing. And
It's amazing.
Cudi's not R&B though. Like
He's not.
But yeah, I think that's why. So that's why Ty Dolla $ign on the album. I'm like,
Yeah, and I can understand that. He is an amazing lyricist, though. Like, not lyricist, vocalist.
Oh yeah, beautiful voice.
Like that man can fucking sing, like crazy.
Ty Dolla $ign can sing.
He can sing like, and it's cool because even I've heard people say like Kanye a lot of the time. He's got some hooks, but sometimes maybe the hooks isn't always where he shines. So to do the artist with Ty Dolla $ign, and Ty Dolla $ign is so good at hooks, it really just works quite well.
That's a good point. Yeah.
From what I've seen, and
But doesn't that just go to show he's just not a?
who
he's a hook kind of guy.
he is 100%. But that's why this album works so well. They just kind of like they complement each other nicely,
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I like this album a lot because I wasn't expecting it to like as much as I did. Like I don't know, just the production, or it just felt like kind of what I mentioned to you earlier when we were in the car. Like it just feels like really like deep, meaningful music. Like there's a lot of like thought and intention behind it, where a lot of the music we hear nowadays is kind of like fast food, like fucking commercialized, like not really like spiritual kind of. It's just like generated like AI pop out a song, Where this song like album felt really, I don't know. It felt deep. which was something I liked, you know?
Yeah.
Just, the production inspired me. Or even, so you know the song, was it Beg Forgiveness with Chris Brown?
No.
I think we should almost listen to that song right now if you're down. We have listened to Beg Forgiveness.
Okay.
What's your initial reaction?
Shit. I mean, fuck. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, like on a track like that, I can definitely see how Ty's getting his roses now, because that definitely that went beyond just kind of like a hook vibe. That was fully.
It was deep.
It was like, yeah, okay, and I think honestly, that's what turned me off a little bit on the first listening. Like when I first started listening to it, I'm like. Some of it's just catchy. Like, Do It. I'm like, all right, this is fun. This is a nice song.
That's like a catchy, high energy strip club song.
Yeah, but then some of it, I'm like, this feels like effort to try to get into it.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, oh, like I just want to listen to like music. I'm not trying to like, having to like sit and like ingest it. If that makes sense.
That's like the type of song where if you heard it like in the wrong setting, it wouldn't hit the same way. You know. Where it's like it's kind of like deep. You gotta like sit down. One thing I thought about that song is my initial reaction the first time I heard it is kind of like it felt a bit too drawn out.
Like the individual tracks.
No, even that one song we just listened to, Big Forgiveness. Like you know how it's like it really like stretches
like 6
out.
minutes. Yeah,
it's really stretched out. But kind of how we were saying like. You know how like with production,
you gotta get a fist away from the mic, bro.
Okay, you know how with production. They say a lot of producers are like, oh, you got to have that hit come in the first like 4 bars. Like it's got to be right away, like instant gratification, kind of like dopamine hit. Where this song, it feels more like.
And did the mic do something to you, bro? You're not looking at it.
No, I want to fucking like.
I'm just fucking with you.
I want to like be able to sit back and fucking like. I want to be able to sit like this and fucking talk.
No, yeah. I mean, I think that this is better. Art, and it's like musical art in its purest form. So, like, sure, but then at the same time, I don't want to discredit the guys who are being like, you got to make it catchy within the first 4 bars, because
it depends on the type of song you're trying to make. If you're trying to make a club banger, you know, a top radio hit, then yeah, that's the formula for it. Where I feel like, you know, there's different. Like uses for music, you know, like different ways that it can be ingested, like, and for different settings, like I
mean, and that art generally, like, and I think that's the idea is like, so honestly, when people talk shit about modern art and they're like, oh, I don't get it, like a kid could fucking just throw paint at the wall, but it's like, you fucking simpleton, like it's like that's the point of modern art is a lot of it is contextual, a lot of it is about the setting of the art is in, and that's part of the art is the setting of the art that you're experiencing it in. But not to make it about that, just to bring it back to the music is like like that's the beauty of it is that it doesn't need to just be some perfect 4 bars of this, 8 bars of that, 4 bars of this, and then like a bridge and a that. It's like that's what makes it interesting. It's just another medium of expression through sound instead of something visual or even something tactile or whatever. Like it's art that's sound based, and I think a song like that is a perfect example of it, where it's like, this is art. He's trying to say something. There's deep emotion behind it. It's not necessarily fun to listen to it. Like it's not that I'm disliked it, but it's like it's emotionally heavy. There's a lot there.
You got to be in the right setting or right mindset. Like if you weren't, like that would be like, you know, if you weren't in like a deep, if you're like trying to just turn up and just have a good song to listen to, like
like if you're at the party and you're trying to take some tequila shots and someone's like, yo bro, can you please put on Beg Forgiveness? I'd be like,
everyone's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck, are you okay?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, obviously it's time and place, and like if you're trying to put I don't know what a good example would be for visual arts, but like you wouldn't put a Rembrandt in like, I don't know. I don't even know.
I don't know who Rembrandt is, but yeah, sure.
like the Night Watchman. or like this painting, like you wouldn't necessarily put that somewhere where like
there's a set and setting. Like I wouldn't put that in like a cafe.
Yeah, you wouldn't put a Hieronymus Bosch painting in the entrance of a cafe where you serve like donuts and coffee.
Yeah,
And people would be like, they'd be like tripping out. They'd be like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
Yeah. Where I feel like, this album has you gotta be in the right set and setting to like fully appreciate it. Where, like the first time I listened to the album, I couldn't really get into it. I kind of put it on because I'm like, oh shit, like I should listen to this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, as someone who's a fan of Kanye, like I should sit down and fucking listen to this. And then, and at first I wasn't really that into it, but it kind of took a couple listens. And I think the song that did it for me was Do It, the one we were listening to in the car. When I heard that, because I'm a big fan of Nipsey Hussle, as you know.
I'm a big fan of doing it.
Yeah, but as soon as I heard that fucking Nipsey Hussle sample come in, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, it just...
Yeah, you're a big Nip guy.
It was like I fucking, like, shotgunned... I'm a big Nip guy in many ways. I like some fucking...
Catnip, Nipsey Hussle.
No, I like big-ass nipples, like big areolas.
Oh, and big areolas.
Yeah, I like big nipples. But, but okay, sorry. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
yeah, rest in peace.
But
rest in power.
What was I saying? Yeah, that song, like as soon as I heard it, it got me amped up. Like I just started fucking dancing. Like I think I stood up and I would like it just like sometimes music does that to you. Like you hear a song and you just like it just like gives you an adrenaline boost.
Yeah, that's the beauty of music.
Yeah. So fucking what else was I gonna say? We should listen to another song or two if you're down.
Sure.
So what's the song after Beg Forgiveness again?
For those wondering, the name of the track is called Burn, which is the 9th track off of the album.
It's a good vibey, like nice, kind of like Cali, West Coast, like it's chilled out at the beach vibes, like got just some like soothing, relaxing.
Yeah. I think, Kanye is an excellent artist, so I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it also is reflective of where Kanye is at in his musical career. And obviously he's always been an artist, but I think he's gone through that arc of like wanting mainstream success, attaining it, and then being driven mad by it almost. And then, doing the whole Jesus album, and it's like, that's like, what, Kanye, I love that you're taking artistic risk. And I love that you're evolving as an artist. But if I want to hear about Jesus, you ain't the one I want to hear it from.
Did you know he released this album independently?
Vultures?
Yeah, it's an independent album. So he released it under a record label, his Yeezy record label.
Nice.
Yeah, so...
Who are the other ones released under?
Oh, big record labels, fucking Interscope, fucking Columbia Records. I don't know.
As he should.
Yeah, all of his previous albums were released under major record labels.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that he was even using other companies before.
Well, no, this is before he was, he was on the come up. He was, aspiring artist.
But even like his past albums, like he's already massively successful. I'm surprised
because there's definitely advantages to working with the major distributors. Like his album still went number one, but like without a lot of playlisting, without proper distribution. I think it sold 140,000 copies first week, which is pretty good. I think it was still the number one album for that week.
I thought about buying a vinyl.
Yeah, I thought about it too.
I think this album makes sense as a vinyl.
Yeah.
Like this one really does, because a lot of the tracks, like you will just sit and listen to it and just absorb it.
I think it's cool how, I don't know, to me it's a little like I do think it's like inspirational in a way, how even with all the blacklisting, that he still got the number one album.
His artistry is undeniable.
Yeah,
like, or even I'd listen to another Michael Jackson album.
Yeah. Hey, that man's innocent.
Hey, I never said anything. I just said I'd listen to another one of his albums.
What was I gonna say? Because Kanye said, like, okay, to me, it's kind of beautiful in a way how, like, even with all the crazy shit he said and done and like tried to be canceled by everyone, seeing how many like big artists came together for this project, like who are willing to like stand by
They
his
all
side.
hate Jews
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
equally.
yeah, exactly. But how they're all willing to still stand by his side, even when he's going through this cancellation, to me is kind of beautiful in a way. Like artists like Chris Brown, Quavo.
I don't think Chris Brown is like.
Oh, yeah. But like,
I don't know if he's the best example.
No, but Lil Durk, he's like arguably the biggest rapper in the United States right now.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
He's working with some Jews. You know he's fucking
for sure. But I just don't think Lil Durk is also like the most. What's the word?
Politically correct.
Well, hold on. Let me find the best way to phrase this. It's like
these are the biggest artists
not
in
exactly
this
an
industry.
upstanding citizen.
Okay, so like Travis Scott.
Yeah.
You know that video I sent you where Travis Scott took out Kanye West on stage, and it's kind of this beautiful moment towards the end of their set.
Well, that's his family.
Well, where he hugs him and he says, "If it wasn't for this man right here, I wouldn't be here right now."
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know, and it's really like people can say whatever they want about Kanye, but like Travis, even Travis is like he's up there with Lil Durk. Like, it's hard to think of bigger rappers than like a Travis.
You know what's
Drake.
funny though is like I would look at Travis's music as like the opposite of what we just listened to.
Yeah, it is kind of
like I don't listen to Travis's music, and there's not an ounce of art. Or to me, like, okay, hold on, pause. Like, I don't feel artistically inspired by Travis's music. Like, it's just fun.
You know the song 90210, where he's like, you've definitely know the song. It's like not a turn up song. It's more of like a chilled, layback, vibey song. I can't remember.
Look, okay, I'm not trying to take away any artistry or talent. That's not what I mean. Yeah. But like, it's not like deep and edgy.
Yeah.
It's like it's all very like exactly what you'd expect. Mm-hmm. It's like there's no surprises. It's just sounds good. It's all just sounds good, which is obviously its own form of art, and I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. Mm-hmm. Kanye has a special place in my heart, even though I am part Jewish myself.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to reconcile. I'm like, you know what, Kanye?
So I was thinking about this too, because you know how his album went #1. I think it's a good thing it did, because you need to like kind of like be able to say like, no, Jews don't run everything. Yeah. Because like say if like he called out the Jewish people, and then it's like his album sold like 30 copies and like he's like can't do anything. It's like you're kind of proving him right. Like you can't cancel him too much.
Yeah,
you need to leave somebody else like, hey, what are you talking about? We don't run shit. You just got a #1 album. Like, you know, like they kind of need to let it happen to like kill the Jew stereotype. Haters. You know, that you need to allow Kanye to get that #1 album.
Let him get
to
the
say
dub.
It's like, hey, we don't run everything.
Yeah,
you know, I think that's kind of important too in a way.
Yeah. I think all around, I think it's a solid album. I don't know if it's my favorite of Kanye's albums. I think, okay, my favorite album is still The Life of Pablo. That's just my personal favorite of Kanye's. And it's surprisingly not a lot of people feel that way. Most people don't think that's
honestly, I've probably never sat down and listened to it front to back. It's a good album. A lot of people do consider that in their top Kanye albums.
It's definitely my top Kanye albums, and I think the line, "You left your fridge open, somebody just took a sandwich," summarizes Kanye for me, where it's like, it's just such a juvenile way to say things, but somehow so profound at the same time. And it's like the right level of like, you're just being silly, but at the same time, like, you know, there is some real shit though.
It's metaphorical.
It's like the metaphor is there.
He's got a similar line on, I forget which song, but where he's like, how dare you have in your house eating Papa John's?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like that's fucking
it's like
metaphorical.
Silly, but it's metaphorical.
Yeah. It's like What are you doing in my house eating Papa John's? Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's like that's what I love about it is like it's not like it doesn't hit you over the head too hard with trying to be profound because it's I don't know, maybe he really when Kanye says it, he really is like, no, this is some profound shit. Like, this is some real fucking shit.
I'm sure he does think that.
He probably does. He probably doesn't even think it's silly. He probably is like, no, this is some real shit.
Yeah.
And if you were like, dude, like, haha, that bar was so funny. He'd be like, what do you mean? It wasn't supposed to be funny. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like, why is it funny?
How is beautiful big titty women funny? You think that's funny?
You think that's funny?
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think that he has a level of self-awareness around that.
He's a funny guy.
But yeah, overall, I think solid album. I love to see the underdog winning in situations like that. As much as he, spoke against my people.
So you know how like the consensus is Kanye is canceled. Like everyone hates Kanye, blah blah blah.
Well,
That's like what the media is saying. Like,
Right.
Or even people that like Kanye, they're scared to talk about it because they think everyone hates Kanye.
Yeah, okay.
No one really talks about it anymore.
Yeah,
it's kind of like taboo.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Yeah.
So this is unexpected. It was not announced that he was going to show up. When he walks out to Runaway. And in just that one note, when that one note hits, the whole crowd goes fucking crazy. Which is like, to me, that's some powerful shit. Like, someone who's been canceled, like name thrown through the mud, like all the media outlets are against him. Been painted as a villain,
Which he is.
And he's leaning into it too with the fucking mask and shit. I didn't even realize that until I heard someone say, like, he's leaning into the whole villain thing with the hockey mask and shit,
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool, but yeah, so just this part. I think this is one of the hardest walkouts of all time. I think that was a powerful moment, Even
I guess point is Kanye not canceled.
Yeah. Like, you see that video. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't fucking know how the crowd was gonna react. Like,
bro.
But I don't know. Like, for all I know, half the people are like, "Oh, fuck Kanye." I'm not saying a lot.
No, I don't think anybody. Honestly, I think. Look, it's like, I don't look for. I don't look to a musician for their political views.
No.
Like, I love Dave Chappelle's bit where he's like, what does Ja Rule have to say about this? It's like, ain't nobody want to hear from Ja Rule right now.
Oh my God.
And that's what I think the same thing is like, he's a brilliant guy. Yeah. But I'm sure if you were hanging out with him, I bet he says a lot of dumb shit. Like, I'm 100%. Sure he says a bunch of shit where you're like, what the fuck are you even saying, dude?
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. And I say a lot of shit too, where like if you heard me out of context, you'd be like, who the fuck? Like,
just because you like someone's art doesn't mean you're going to agree with every opinion they have.
Yeah, I mean, like, even with your friends, it's like,
no,
you're not going to agree with your friends 100% either, no. Or your family, or your coworker, and like, sure, some of it's more extreme than others.
I don't think you're ever going to meet a person that you 100% agree with.
Yeah,
like, it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
I mean, he took it a little far when he on the Alex podcast, on the Alex Jones podcast,
bro, dude.
He definitely took it too far.
When he said that shit, I face palmed so hard. I'm like, bro.
And Alex was trying to save him too.
Especially because it's like, I'm someone who's like had his back. Like, I'm like, no, he's crazy, blah 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 blah. And then when he says that, I'm like, I can't. What am I gonna say now?
Yeah, there's no defending it, and that's why everybody came for him so hard, obviously.
Yeah.
But
he went on a crazy rant.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's the point. Is like, I don't think there's ever gonna be like, he's gonna sound nut. Anytime he's in front of the mic, I've never heard him not sound unhinged. Yeah. Like, he's definitely unhinged. Yeah. But like, I think some of the best people are.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine. Like,
I think a big part of why it's so hard for people to cancel him It's because he's so funny sometimes.
He's dope.
I've realized, I think that's become super apparent with Trump. Is how, like, man, if you can make people laugh, it's hard for them to, like, if you're funny.
Yeah. Well, let's
like, bro, that like, someone might not like you, but if you can make them laugh, they're gonna be like, okay, like.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yes, good sir.
Well, I think that was a pretty thorough exploration of Vultures. I think that was a good conversation there.
Yeah, it was a little rusty, but I think it was good for first episode. We can make some tweaks. I can make sure to fucking keep the mic close to my face.
Yeah, this guy's like allergic to microphones or something.
Dude, I'm a microphobe.
He's a phobia.
I'm a phobia.
Of microphones being in the proper vocal distance from his face.
Yeah. Fucking gay.
He's like, don't get that cylinder away from my face.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So that was a conversation about the new Vultures album.
New Vultures album. Thorun and Skundo.
All right.
Yeah, look forward to more episodes of us just talking shit, and it'll hopefully become a little more polished. But in the meantime, we're just out here trying to make something.
Yeah, and the idea is that it's a naturally evolving thing. So if you're listening to this and you have any feedback or requests or comments, we'll try to incorporate it as best as we can.
Any negative feedback will be publicly ridiculed.
Yeah, we'll argue with you in the
dox
comments.
You. We're going to find your address and where you live.
That was just a joke. We won't do that. But we will talk shit in the comments.
Honestly, given the right circumstances, we probably would.
That was also a joke. All right.
If someone was really fucking around, bro.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out, dude. We're going to end up getting doxxed now.
Yeah, we're going to get doxxed.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you for tuning in.
All right, thank you.
Take care.